Hello and welcome. I'm back, and today we are in the Tier 9 US battleship, the mighty Georgia. We're playing on the map, I believe it's called Greece. Anyway, you probably know this map, especially if you've played higher tiers. I haven't actually played much in my absence, which means that I'm somewhat rusty. However, I do remember that my greatest mistake with the Georgia is more or less overextending. Because the ship is so incredibly fast, it's one of the fastest battleships in the game without speed boost, and then you have an amazing speed boost on top of that. It means that I often end up in a situation where nobody follows me and I will be the primary target. This time I will try to do it somewhat differently. I will try to go in, and then I will try to use my incredible speed to disengage. And I will try to repeat this a few times. Hopefully this will encourage my teammates to push, the other two battleships behind me. And hopefully it also makes it so that the enemy shoots me for a while and then switches to my teammates. If we do it that way, we can maximize the usage of our heals, and hopefully this ends up working out the best for all of us. Now, this does mean that my friendly battleships do have to play ball. I started doing the turn away a bit early here. Usually people do engage on me, at least that's kind of what I remember. But this time that didn't seem to be the case. Perhaps I should have gotten slightly closer. Which is why, I'm soon going to be turning around, because the Georgia does only have 20-kilometer range. Meaning that I have to turn around to be able to shoot anything anyway. Now there are 4 ships targeting me, but I don't think most of them are going to fire. Perhaps the Iowas, and Yoshino, I guess, but the others, maybe not so much. And actually the Iowas has disappeared for a while as well, meaning that I don't actually have a target, so I would have to get closer regardless. I really like the positioning of our Colbert as long as he doesn't die. He's being gutsy getting that close. However, Colbert's shell arcs are pretty atrocious when you're trying to actually hit targets. However, if all you're trying to do is hide behind an island, then they're perfect. Like, the Colbert's positioning with that in mind is excellent, because she is able to probably rain fire on that Iowa, Yoshino, etc. And really nobody wants to be the target of a Colbert. Even though a Colbert actually ends up not dealing that much damage, it's like an AoE fear. It makes everyone afraid and run away from that side of the map, because nobody wants to be the target of the rain of fire. I'm gonna head closer to the Colbert, and then I'm gonna try to turn away again and, repeat like I mentioned. Ooh, a Citadel hit. I didn't expect that one, but the 457 guns on the Georgia are pretty effective. I am getting maybe slightly too close to that Montana. However, Georgia also has very good secondaries that are accurate, because they're basically Massachusetts secondaries. So if the gearing pops up again like she did before, that could be quite effective. At the end of the match I will show my captain build and the captain build stuff, etc., so that you can see my build, but I'm pretty sure I'm built for stealth and secondary range, so AFT and concealment expert. And these should work together rather well, because it means that the enemy doesn't have, much distance between spotting me and then my secondaries being able to... Oh my god! I guess I'm taking at least 2 torpedoes here. Well played by the... Actually, I forgot what the ship's called. The Japanese cruiser with the 20-kilometer torpedoes. And this obviously made me annoyed, because when you look at the minimap, my Massachusetts and Richelieu have still decided not to engage. In fact, it's even worse than that. The Richelieu is sailing away. I don't quite get why though. I mean, the enemy holds all 3 cap zones. We should be trying to work on that. And our battleships are backing off for some reason. I can't go in there alone, especially now that I know that my 2 battleships will not follow me. Like, before, sure, maybe, I could justify it because maybe they would follow, but at this point they're absolutely not going to follow me, right? They're sailing away. Which is why I guess I'll have to do much to... Oh, gearing! Ooh. This means my secondaries will be effective, and my gun should be accurate. Ooh, 6300 and secondaries, come on. Come on. Got him! But let's be fair, that gearing... He didn't have much of a chance. There's a Colbert literally next to me. You're not surviving that as a destroyer. Just, you're not. So, next up is the Iowa, and I guess the Zuma. I mean, if the Associate takes the capstone, maybe our role on this side of the map has been okay, because we have conserved a lot of our HP on the other two battleships at least, which means that they should be able to engage and tank properly. If it's even necessary, because it does look like we're winning. They've lost 4 ships, 1 cruiser and a battleship and 2 destroyers. We've lost 2 destroyers. So I would say things are looking up for us. Although, unless we can change the capstone situation soon, it might not be so great after all. But it does look like we're gonna be okay. Alaska's gonna take B, Asashi's gonna take A, and that's kinda all you need, because there's still almost 12 minutes left to go. And meanwhile I'll get closer again and engage the 2 battleships. If they go down more, I guess I'm not going to be disengaging, because I would have to reposition to find new targets anyway. That aim was slightly high, but the Zuma was turning away, so hopefully it's justified. Also, I actually would like to ask some advice, hear what you guys think. You see, this is related to my absence. When I make a plan that basically is... So, I wanted to make a video about the racing event, where we race destroyers. It was a really cool event, and I'm still definitely planning on making that video. But I had this plan even before, for a while now, basically ever since the race. And whenever I make a plan like that, and I hinge other things on it, so my idea was that I wouldn't post another video until I make that one. Often what ends up happening is that I don't actually do the thing that everything hinges upon, and then I just don't do the things at all. So I didn't make that video, and unfortunately this also meant that I wasn't really making any of the other videos, which kinda leads to the absence. It's not intentional every time. In fact, it usually isn't intentional in my case. And I'd like to know, do you guys have the same issue? And if you don't, or you do and you've overcome it, what have you done for that? Because it's something that I find quite difficult. I know what I need to do, but for some reason I just end up not doing it eventually. I have some suspicions on why that is, but that's not really something you can fix, at least as far as I'm aware. Anyway, back to the game. Izumo's gonna go down, so if you have any ideas on that, let me know in the comments, I'm really interested. Because most of the times when I've been absent, and some of you will know that I have been quite a few times, that has been because of that. I have some video idea I want to make, and because I hinge future videos on that, and I don't make that one video, well, I won't make any other videos for a while either, and that just ends up being bad news all around. Anyway, Iowa went down. Next up is the St. Louis most likely, and because of my incredible speed, it's fine. I can get close to the enemy, change from the western side of the map to the eastern side, but the Massachusetts and the Richelieu on my team can't as easily. Well, the Richelieu actually did. She started a lot earlier and she's already on the eastern side of the map, but the Massachusetts is gonna take a hell of a long time to get into combat now. Like proper combat. Meanwhile, I will have it easy because I'm fast, but also because I didn't hang back as a slow battleship. We have the B cap, so I guess I'm not going to be able to take anything here, but I do need to worry about the fact that there's probably a destroyer somewhere in the rough direction I'm going. But these right now are just cruisers that I can actually open fire upon with my secondaries, and that can be quite annoying as a cruiser, because these secondaries can deal some damage, and as a cruiser you can't really afford to lose much HP against the battleship for essentially nothing. And it's not like you can really dodge the secondary hits either. I do need to worry though, I need to change my course a little bit, and then again, because there might be torpedoes incoming. Yeah, see, there they are. Actually, I thought this slightly earlier, and there's the other set of torpedoes. You really need to expect this, but you also need to understand that if you simply change your course a little bit, that will usually keep you safe. Because nobody can, well, usually predict how you're going to exactly move. There's the destroyer. Hot, but we're not going to be able to take him out. He's gonna be behind an island, and by the time I clear the island, well, she will already have, gotten far enough that I won't spot her anymore. There's another set of torpedoes, those are the Minotaurs, but we're gonna be okay. And there's a Montana that's showing us broadside. I am going to slow down here though, because the Öland might have torpedoed me. And as long as I don't go around the island quickly, the Öland is probably going to miss those torpedoes if she fired them. And there's the destroyer, and there are the torpedoes. I actually don't know. Yeah, maybe those torpedoes weren't actually intended for me, but regardless, they definitely didn't hit me. And now we should probably try to take out the Montana. And after that... Oh, there's a Massachusetts. Okay. Yeah, I do need to point my nose between the Massachusetts and the Montana. That should keep me more or less safe from both of them. I would have liked to engage the Minotaur, but not possible at the moment. However, they only have 2 ships left, so I am gonna be able to take my shot on her. Massachusetts is going down soon, so I guess maybe I should try to help it along a little bit, or maybe I'll just save the shot on the Minnow. I do need to worry about Minotaur torpedoes eventually again, because I'm sailing towards her, which makes it easier to torpedo. Oh, there she is. So, secondaries are opening up, rear turret has fired, but the main thing is, oh, 17k just from that. And broadside on Minotaur at 14k HP, 2 main batteries, yeah, she's dead. Goodbye. Okay, I mean, technically she could have survived if I had just gotten unlucky, but I think chances were in my favor in that one. By the way, this match ending actually took something like... Basically, it loaded so long that it went into the lobby and then I had to click back. Kinda funny that they still haven't fixed it. 167k damage, sank 4 ships, 2300 base XP in a tier 10 game. I mean, considering the fact that I haven't been around for a while, I guess it doesn't really change the gameplay too much, huh? I think that Asashio played well. And as you can see, the Richelieu and Massachusetts just didn't end up doing well. Basically, the way they played ended up punishing themselves, right? They got 1100 base XP on the victory. I mean, sure, I can understand why they're apprehensive, but it just feels kind of a shame. Anyway, Gearing got a compliment because he was really kind with donating her destroyer. And 156k damage with the main batteries, only 10k from the secondaries. While the secondaries are accurate and all kinds of cool things, I don't think it makes sense to rely on them too much. Main batteries are still, well, the main batteries. That's why they're called the main batteries. Here we can see the damage. Those torpedoes definitely hurt, and I probably should have known better not to take them, but oh well, sometimes you just end up on the with the short end of the stick. And sometimes you simply misplay. But I mean, come on, 700k actually profit. Okay, time to look at the captain skills and upgrades. So, I start out with priority target, then expert marksman, then obviously superintendent, then concealment expert. Then I went with advanced firing training, and next up I figured I would go for fire prevention and the skill I can't think of right now. Usually you would take something like basics of survivability and fire prevention, right? But because I want AFT on the ship, I figured I would go AFT and then take Expert Loader. Sure, I drop Adrenaline Rush, however, I think because I have a Special Captain, you know, my reload time is 75% reduced when I do that, when I switch ammo types when my guns are reloaded. I think it's worth it, but if you don't have a Special Captain, I don't recommend going for Expert Loader, on a battleship anyway. So, I start with the HP on the secondaries, and then in the second slot I actually should have Engine Boost, but for whatever reason I didn't. That might have actually been helpful, but yeah, you should take Engine Boost in the second one, but if you don't go with the upgrade I had, then secondary range, then obviously fire and flooding reduction, then concealment, and in the last slot I went for Dispersion. Now, I don't actually know which one is better, Dispersion or Reload, but I go for Dispersion because it doesn't reduce my turret traverse time, because the turret traverse is already slow enough on the ship. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. And I would also like to apologize. I'm sorry, because I don't intend to be away, but it just makes me feel bad when I come back and I see all these patrons. So thank you very much, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.